Hi, I'm Val Walker, and I'm a blogger for Psychology Today and the author of The Art of Comforting and another book called 400 Friends and No One to Call. And my latest book is called Healing Through Wonder, How Awe Restores Us After Trauma and Loss. And that's coming out January 8th, 2026. And I'm happy to say that this work is part of a partnership I have with Robyn Houston-Bean here, who we'll talk in just a minute. The book is a combination of stories from our wonderful profiles, as well as my own memoir of healing through moments of awe and wonder, especially with birds, great blue herons in particular. And other people who I profile in the book also share how moments of awe and wonder lifted them out of a lot of dark thinking and rumination and grief and trauma and addiction. And all of these stories illustrate how it was a source of strength for us and resilience and hope. And not only through the stories, but I had to back it all up with some validation from neuroscience as well. So I had this very exciting challenge of taking the language of neuroscience and backing up our stories. And the most beautiful common denominator I found was that what is known as the default mode network of our brains that are always in gear, trying to think for us. Everything is related to yourself and what's going to happen next and how you're going to control things and how you want to make things happen. That part of your brain sometimes needs a break. And especially when you're ruminating and churning on something, a breath of fresh air is when you have a moment of awe and wonder, and it shifts everything for you outside of yourself. And you see the world as if for the first time. So now I'd love to hear from Robyn because Robyn has been partnering with me with telling the stories, but Robyn represents an organization which she's going to talk about, and also how these experiences of awe and wonder have been so beneficial. Thanks, Robyn.
Thanks, Val. I am so excited for this book to come out. I just can't wait. The anticipation is, oh, it's eating at me. So, I'm Robyn Houston-Bean. I'm the founder of the Sun Will Rise Foundation. The Sun Will Rise Foundation is a peer grief organization. We provide peer grief support to people bereaved due to substance use related causes. And I started that organization after the death of my 20-year-old son, Nick, back in May of 2015 after a polysubstance overdose. We just help people, figure out how to go on after devastating losses and let them know that they're not alone. And I was so blessed when Val and I connected. Now it feels like many years ago, and we're able to start having discussions about, what had happened to me, and I was helping people find out how to make friends after grief. And like these all like converging lines of things.
So I was just curious, what are your thoughts on how awe and wonder helps people who are grieving? How do moments, even short moments, make a difference?
Yeah, so I first think back to myself, right? So, as a person who was a go-getter, a type A personality, the the death of my son brought me to my knees, and it brought me to a place that I had never experienced before. And it was a moment of awe and wonder that really shook me out of that. Um, there didn't seem to be a future without him. And
Mm-hmm.
this encounter, which people could read in the book about the dragonfly encounter, was really this turning point that made me realize that there was something bigger out there. There was something more to this world than my immediate tunnel of just devastating grief. And I feel like that's what other grievers connect with. There's
Mm-hmm.
this, there's something more out there, whether it's, um, like I have had these moments of awe and wonder in so many different ways. Nature is a big thing, but dreams, synchronicities, ways of experiencing these things. And each griever, if they're open to these different moments, can be really changeable. Um, it's the connection with other people, the connection with the world. The the one that hits me a lot is that feeling of you're really small, right? You and your particular thing is this one tiny thing that's happening in the universe, and the rest of the universe is out there. And what don't we know about the rest of that universe?
Mm,
That makes me curious, and I think some of our grievers curious to be like, well, tell me more. Let me stay here and find out more. Let me engage in life and find out more, because there's got to be more than just this deep grief. And
hmm
it, it's contagious. We just start talking about our experiences sometimes.
mm,
And
mm,
someone will bring up a moment, a dream, a spiritual moment. And then people's heads start shaking and they're like, oh, yes, I've had a moment like that too. And then that person wants to tell their story. And then you are listening to that and it invigorates you.